Booming Thunder Radio, where we groove as the spirit moves. Yeah. Drawing the honey from the rock. With the righteous Reverend Doctor on Booming Thunder Radio.
Welcome back, mighty friends. Brother TC coming at you live from down in the bayou. It's been raining for a while, and it's a river outside everywhere out here. Mercy, yeah, and the cleansing, and the washing away of all that needs to go. We all know what that is. There's something so much better to enter in through the gate. Yeah. Those that enter in through the gate, ye are truly YeHoShUa HaMashiachs. So today's word, mighty friend, the living word revealed, the Father has put upon our hearts that the little children need to understand these things. So may all the spiritual leaders of each home, each heaven inside the hearts of the mother and the father and the love of the children, not of technology, not of modifying our children or ourselves in a technological way. This is not the way, the truth, and the life. It is the lie that looks like the truth. You'll live in this world and will not die. Is that what you want? That's what you shall receive in your wretchedness, grasping your carnal mind for this world and this reality. The Holy Scriptures teach us to store up things in the world beyond. Not to make barns and store all our stock and say we can live luxuriously and lazily. And the way of the world is so cunning. Yea, you must be wise, and you must be a builder to overcome it. To teach your family the trade, yea, the way of each worker for our Father, the unknowable one, the one that's only revealed by YeHoShUa, yeah, the one who came and gave his life with the indwelling of the Spirit freely, he could have called legions of angels to lay waste upon the earth, that he would stand and wickedness would not prevail at that time. But mighty YeHoVaH is merciful, and even though he sent many workers back to his vineyard He sent his own Son to receive, and they slain him that they may keep the inheritance, all the gold and silver of this earth. Yea, and mighty Father, he took his great big blue glove and he pounded the top of that lintel in two and ripped the curtain. Yea, and the ark was never seen again. And 40 years later, not a single stone rests upon another that was there when he, mighty YeHoShUa, spoke the word to his disciple, yea, to all of his disciples, that there should not be a stone left unturned. And so it was. And even in those last 40 years after they slain the Mashiach, the doors never opened by themselves the way they had always done, opened and closed before. But it was YeHoShua's Spirit that did these things. It's the same Spirit that does all things in the name of the Father. And then Moshe summoned all Israel and said, "Hear, O Israel, the statutes and the ordinances which the eyes are speaking today in your hearing on this 31st day of 2018, a dawn of a new age, a new year, a new Jubilee anniversary time ago. Yea, that we may learn them and observe them carefully together. Mighty YeHoVaH, our God, made a covenant with us at Horeb. Exodus 19:5 is your faithful witness. Mighty YeHoVaH did not make this covenant with our fathers, but with us, all those of us alive here today. Mighty YeHoVaH spoke to you face to face at the mountain from the midst of the fire. The eyes were standing between Mighty YeHoVaH and you at that time to declare to you the word of Mighty YeHoVaH. For you were afraid because of the fire and did not go up the mountain. He said, the eyes are YeHoVaH, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You will have no other gods before me. Yea, before Mighty YeHoVaH. He is our God. He is only one. He is unknowable except by his Son who reveals him. You shall not make for yourself an idol or any likeness of what is in heaven, above, or on the earth beneath, or in the water underneath the earth. No idols. This world is full of idols. People who know not the one true God. They have been deceived by the world and their love for the world and not their love for the Word. We need to develop a love for the Word. Yeah. And when we pray in the morning, when we rise and we seek the Word of everlasting in our hearts, that our children can learn and live forever upon the earth. This is why we do it, for the love of our children, that they can live forever in the goodness and mercy of mighty YeHoVaH. Yeah. Adam and Eve. Yeah. A blessed union. One man and one woman. Faithful forever to the end. And then the beginning again. Yea, this is the way of the truth and the life. The mystery of the Word in your heart. That when it becomes flesh in your heart, and you willingly come and cry out for circumcision, that the blood of your circumcision could dye your white lamb skins red and cover that dark goat hair. Yeah, and with the prayer shawl over it all like a badger's skin. Yeah, and then a coat of many colors for all the peoples of the earth. Yeah, ministering to inside the tent of meeting once the skins are sewn by angels' hands. Yea, 4 layers thick. Yea, a hiding place of prayer and worship to the eternal Father YeHoVaH. Yea, revealed by the Son YeHoShUa. Yea, who teaches us in the Word and brings the Word as flesh upon our heart at the Father's perfect time. Yea. I pray that your day will come, and I pray your day has come. If it has not come, that in these 2019 days ahead, that your day would be found and your joy would be made full. You shall not worship them or serve them. That's these idols that are being made. They need to be cast away from our homes and from our minds and worship only one, the one who created, yea, all things. Yea, even the unseen pantheon that this world believes so strongly in. It is but a footstool unto a righteous man's heart. Yea, once his feet had been washed and cleansed in the Word. You shall not worship them, these idols, or serve them. Almighty YeHoVaH is your God, and He is a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, on the third and the fourth of those who hate YeHoVaH. So there are many, even leaders of our great nation, who have taken our promised land, our dedication to mighty YeHoVaH. Yeah. And in our blindness, we have created all these things in the promised land that should not be, that are against the word of everlasting, that are part of our history, a part of our transitioning into everlasting upon the earth with our children, a hope of glory, showing loving kindness to thousands, to those who love mighty YeHoVaH and keep mighty YeHoVaH's commandments. You shall not take the name mighty YeHoVaH, your God, in vain. For mighty YeHoVaH will not leave him unpunished who takes his name in vain. Observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy, as mighty YeHoVaH your God commanded you in Exodus 16:23 through 30. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of the Lord your God, mighty YeHoVaH. You shall not do any work, or you, or your son, or your daughter, or your male servant, or your female servant, or your ox, or your donkey, or any of your cattle, or your sojourner who stays with you, so that your male servant and your female servant may rest as well as you. Hallelujah. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and mighty YeHoVaH your God brought you out of there by a mighty hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore, mighty YeHoVaH your God commanded you to observe the Sabbath day. Honor your father and your mother, yea, as mighty YeHoVaH your God has commanded you, that your days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with you on the land which the mighty YeHoVaH your God is giving you. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, yea, naturally or spiritually. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, in the natural or in the spiritual. And you shall not desire your neighbor's house, in the natural or in the spiritual. His field, in the natural or in the spiritual. Or his male servant, or his female servant, or his ox, or his donkey, or anything that belongs, yea, even his pool, you shall not covet. These words mighty YeHoVaH spoke to all your assembly at the mountain, from the midst of the fire, the cloud, and the thick gloom, with a great voice, and he added no more. He wrote them on 2 tablets of stone and gave them to us. Yeah, mighty YeHoVaH wrote it on there and gave it to Moshe. And when you heard the voice from the midst of the darkness,
while the mountain was burning with fire. You came near to Moshe, all the heads of your tribes and your elders. You said, Behold, mighty YeHoVaH, our God, has shown us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice from the midst of the fire. We have seen today that God speaks with man, yet he lives. Now then, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of mighty YeHoVaH, our God, any longer, then would we die? For who is there of all flesh who has heard the voice of the living God speaking from the midst of the fire as we and lived? Go near and hear all that mighty YeHoVaH our God says. Then speak to us all that mighty YeHoVaH our God speaks to you, and we will hear and do it. Mighty YeHoVaH heard the voice of your words when you spoke to Moshe. And mighty YeHoVaH said to us, said to Moshe, the eyes have heard the voice of the words of this people which they have spoken to you. They have done well in all that they have spoken. Oh, that they had such a heart in them, that they would fear me and keep all my commandments always, that it may be well with them and with their sons forever. Psalms 81 and 13 for a second witness. Go, say to them, return to your tents of meeting. Yea, the hiding place under the prayer shawl. But as for you, stand here by Moshe, that the eyes may speak to you all the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which you shall teach them, that they may observe in the land which I give them to possess. So you shall observe to do just as mighty YeHoVaH our God has commanded us. You shall not turn aside to the right or to the left. Do you hear? You shall walk in all the way which mighty YeHoVaH your God has commanded you, the truth, that you may live, and that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong days in the land which you will possess. Yea. Now this is the commandment, the statutes, and the judgments which mighty YeHoVaH your God, yea, our God, has commanded us to teach you, that you might do in the land where you are going over to possess it, so that you and your son and your grandson might fear mighty YeHoVaH our God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which the eyes have commanded you, yea, even by Moshe's word, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. O Israel, you should listen and be careful to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may multiply greatly, just as mighty YeHoVaH, the Lord God of our fathers, has promised each of us, in a land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, mighty YeHoVaH is our God. Mighty YeHoVaH is one. You shall love mighty YeHoVaH your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. These words which Moshe is commanding us today shall be on all our hearts. You shall teach them diligently to your sons, and shall talk to them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontals on your forehead. Yea, these are spiritual things. Yea, that natural things bring spiritual thoughts to our mind when they are not idols, but remembrances of the glory that has been shown us by the Mighty One of Israel. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as a frontals on your forehead. You shall write them on your doorpost of your house, and on your gates. Then it shall come about, when the Lord your God brings you into the land which he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give you great and splendid cities which you did not build. And houses full of all good things which you did not fill, and hewn cisterns which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant. And you eat and are satisfied. Then watch yourself, that you do not forget mighty YeHoVaH, who brought you from the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall fear mighty YeHoVaH your God alone, and you shall worship him and swear by his name. You shall not follow other gods. Any of the gods, these are little g's, of the people who surround you. For mighty YeHoVaH your God in the midst of you is a jealous God. Otherwise the anger of mighty YeHoVaH your God will be kindled against you, and he will wipe you off the face of the earth. You shall not put mighty YeHoVaH your God to the test, as you tested him at Massah. You should diligently keep the commandments of mighty YeHoVaH your God, yea, our God, and his testimonies and his statutes, which he has commanded, yea, us this day. You shall do what is right and good in the sight of mighty YeHoVaH alone, and that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good land, which mighty YeHoVaH swore to your fathers, by driving out all your enemies from before you, as mighty YeHoVaH has spoken. When your son asks you in time to come, saying, what do the testimonies of the statutes and the judgments mean, which the Lord our God, mighty YeHoVaH, commanded you? Then you shall say to your son, We were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, even to this day. And mighty YeHoVaH brought us from Egypt with a mighty hand. Yea. And we came and we fell and we were put asunder. And here we are again in our humility, seeking, a seventh or an eighth try. He brought us out from there in order to bring us in, to give us the land which he had sworn to our fathers. So mighty YeHoVaH commanded us to observe all these statutes, to fear mighty YeHoVaH our God, for our good always, and for our survival as today. It will be righteousness for us if we are careful to observe all this commandment before mighty YeHoVaH our God, just as he commanded us. It's really not that much. A love of the word. I trust that you have been anointed by the wisdom of this day brought forth by the sword of glory, in the Holy Scripture. May each of the little children, sing praises of joy with their mother, teaching them the songs as they're little, as their fathers and grandfathers and greatest of grandfathers see the pouring of the oil into their little sons, grandsons, and greatest and grandest of greatest of grandsons. At their honor, at their right hand, as it is her right hand only pouring the oil, that it would be only when she gives them over to their fathers for the training of, for the service, the service, the burning, the bringing forth of the spiritual, that the spiritual heads can be removed in the mind of an anointed son, YeHoShUa HaMashiach, that he can find a place to rest his head on your shoulders, that your wax would be made pure and burned out of your ears and off your heart. Let this last day of 2018 kindle a holy fire within your heart. The heart of that woman you love, and all the children, grandchildren, the greatest of grandchildren, and the grandest and greatest of grandchildren. And we all can be grafted back in and live the life of joy, unimaginable, having lived a life of sorrow and enduring, of denying the Spirit, that finally, each morning, let us be on both our knees to Him,
we can pray in this way. It will help you, mighty friend. I hope your 2019 is what it was intended for you to enjoy and to become. Children living forever upon the earth. Our little angels in our heart.